All right, welcome to this training. My name is Brianna Anderson, and I am CEO of Universal Love Academy. If you are here, I am going to change your world. In fact, you're going to change your world. If you are here, be present, turn that phone off, turn it on like do not disturb, because right now I really want you to get away from distraction because when we're away from distraction, we have potential to be intoxicated by truth. So, my intention for you today is to walk away from this training to understand yourself at such a profound level, to understand why human design and gene keys is not just the way to unlock your soul blueprint, but how to actually step into transformational leadership to lead yourself to create the life that you love. And really, you're here because you're seeking wholeness. You may not know that, but at the core of everything that you have experienced, if you're having high success months, but you feel like something's missing, or you wake up every day and you're like, it's Groundhog Day. Why is the same thing happening over and over again? Well, today I'm here to educate you on why this is going to change your life, why this is the information you have been seeking for, and why you have had the experiences that you have had. So, welcome. Now, let's dive into it. Again, please be present because at the end of this training, I am going to tell you how you can work with me. I am going to educate you on where to get the resources. I am going to give you everything I possibly can in the next little while so that you can understand truly and deeply what it is that you're yearning for. So I always say if we're unlearning, it's because we're yearning, right? And they go together because we have to unlearn some patterns if we want to really, really dive into the potential of who we are. So hopefully you can see my screen. Welcome. Again, my name is Brianna Anderson. I am an expert in human design, gene keys, and human behavior. My gifts are radical transformation through articulation. And I'm here to speak to your soul, not to your head alone, but to your heart. So, what is human design? Human design is a synthesis of ancient and modern science. So, your personality, you guys, it's actually ever changing, it's malleable. It is not a personality test. No, 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 no. This is a system, and the system is you. Human design is the synthesis of all the pillars, such as astrology, the Hindu chakra system, the Kabbalah, the Chinese I Ching, the quantum physics realms, the 64 hexagrams, and your DNA. It also has the ability to go into psychoanalysis. This is your energetic blueprint. This is the path of least resistance. So, what you just learned on this slide is that you, as a human, you have a very distinct design. Now, who you truly are, the basic premise of human design is that as the soul enters the body, 88 days before birth, our being is actually imprinted by neutrinos. A neutrino is a subatomic particle in the study of quantum physics. So think of stardust. The parts of you that these neutrinos pass through are imprinted with those energies. Now, the parts that create or imprint on you is what is referred to in human design as the self, like who you truly are, who you are naturally in the world. Energy of who you truly are is consistent, it's fixed and sustainable. And I love that because this means that we unlearn our survival responses to remember our wholeness right here, right now. So, how many of you guys have experienced times or places in your life where an experience really damaged your identity? You're like, shit, I should have known better, or crap, why did that happen? Or feeling so much grief and remorse for your human journey because you don't have another person to compare it to. Have you been there? Now, the road of unlearning, like I said earlier, it's you that you have been yearning. I know you think it's about the money. I know you think it's about the home. I know you think it's about your spouse. I know you think it's about your kids. not. The parts of you that are not imprinted make up what is referred to as the not self. We could also think of this as the person who you think you are, but you are not. Another way to explain this perhaps would be a mask, a survival mechanism that has kept you safe, but it doesn't serve where you're going. This is where you are susceptible to external influence and conditioning. It's where you are receptive and taking the energy of those that are around you. So it's kind of like a sponge, right? You put the sponge under water and it soaks it in, and you're like, "Ooh, I don't know if I like hot water." Same idea. Human design is the blueprint of who we truly are in the world. So for those that love science, like me, I'm a science nerd, but I'm also a spirituality goddess. It's both. Both exist, you guys. Coherence, coherence is my life's purpose. You're on this training because I can help you get to a state of coherence. It can be this and it can be that. You can be this and you can be that. It's not one way. It's not logic without science. It's not science without spirituality. It's not spirituality without love. They all connect together. So, back to the point. For those that love science, we refer to this as the science of differentiation. So it's almost like you do belong, but you can be independent or interdependent in any circumstance, meaning you can be all of you, and still belong. So in this process of unlearning, I'm going to help you unlearn your survival responses to remember your wholeness right here, right now. How many of you guys are like, damn, yes, I'm feeling this. I want my cup to be full. I desire it. I desire that so much. What does overflow from your essence feel like? You don't just want freedom. Wake up. You want the freedom to be all of you and loved unconditionally. That's actually where Universal Love Academy was birthed. So, like I said, I'm the CEO of Universal Love Academy. And the reason I created that system is because I understood too many people want things they think they can't have, or they'll leave themselves behind in order to get it. So, this next golden nugget is not on the screen. So, write this down. Grab a pen. Yeah, you thought you was just coming to listen to me. No, you're here to integrate real time. Success without self is still poverty. Your purpose. Now, I know some of you are like, what's my purpose? Just tell me what my purpose is. Your purpose is to live on purpose. Now, you are the system, guys. Let's really bring this down to earth. You could know nothing about human design and still be on this call and understand this. You are the system. No human is going to exit a matrix or a system like a job without another system already in its place, right? Human behavior shows us if we're going to quit an addiction or exit a system or change a habit, something else needs to be in its place. So I'm actually teaching you how to leave all of the systems and rules you do not like to depend on the internal system that you have. And here is the blueprint to identify ease with the larger system called life. So when you know who you are and create based on who you are, there is a joy that blossoms from within you. You stop playing the game of hide and seek and you found the real meaning of life. You unlearned the distortion that you are broken and you reclaim the truth that you are perfection in motion. Limitless, you guys, is your real nature, but most of us are making decisions based on limitation. I can't do this because of the money. I can't do this because I don't know how. I can't do this because I don't have time. But the real problem in your intellectual thinking within the system is that you do not trust that there is a divine order. You do not trust that your system has a divine order. and you do not know how to trust yourself within the divine order. Trust, 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 and more trust. So we're going to move right now by the end of this training, right now, not later, right now. We're going to move from broke to woke. You are not fundamentally broken. You have had moments where the light broke in. So, no, we don't need to sacrifice our soul for material gain and progress. Gene Keys is the foundation from which your DNA and your genetics operate both consciously and unconsciously. Everyone take a breath. Shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. I can feel this getting into your body. Okay. When we dedicate our lives to this work, we are releasing victimhood. We're outing our shadows. We're embodying our gifts. When we are unapologetic about who we are, we no longer dim our light. When we source our love from the inside out, then we realize, I'm going to say that again. When we realize and when we source our love from the inside out, we realize everything in the outside world is just an experience to be witnessed, and nothing is missing or in lack. Now, most humans, you're probably one of them on this call because you wouldn't have showed up to this training if you could answer this question. How do you source the very thing that you want from the inside out? How do you source the $1,000,000 when it's not there? How do you source the love of your life when you don't feel it? How do you source from the inside out when the world has taught you and trained you since little baby to get your needs from the outside in? I'm going to help you reverse engineer what is literally broken. The structure is broken. You are not. We're going to change the structure. May I share with you a story? Why listen to Brianna? Okay. Well, I fell in love and I fell in love hard. I found my soulmate, my other half, and after getting out of an abusive marriage the first time, I got married for the second time. That took courage. Believe me, that took courage. But I believed in that moment that he completed me, who met my every desire, at least in the beginning, right? Has anyone experienced fairy tales? Because it was real. However, within months of my fairy tale, that fairy tale turned into a living hell. A destruction I have never experienced, and my fantasy became my worst nightmare. And so the search began. God, why is this happening to me? God, show me who the F I am. And these words were a demand. I'm done. I'm not doing this ever again. So, like the phoenix, I was willing to burn it all down. And I did. I divorced. I moved homes. I quit my 10-year corporate career. I let religion go. And I went across the country and I walked away from every single part and piece of the web that had me tied up like in a knot. And I required space to find my own truth. I questioned everything I ever believed. I was willing to face the consequence of being wrong. Why? Because I was already living in the very hell I feared. Do you get that? This is a story of death and rebirth. So understand when I tell you success is not out there, I walked it. When I say that love is not out there, I walked it. When I say that your authority and your direction is not out there, I have walked it. Human design found me for a second time, and this time I knew it had something to teach me. So, although I had so much pessimism and pain in this part of my life, the transition would last for about a year, and then I would discover that I was not to learn human design for my own selfish gain and then move on. That was when Spirit told me I am the one to teach and help others believe that they too are special and how to navigate this same death and rebirth process, and also to help educate people on their own unique gifts so that they don't have to hit rock bottom like I did. So I want to breathe, Pause. If you haven't gone through that before, no worries. In fact, I don't ever want you to. If you're in the middle of a shitstorm right now, this is for you. If you're on the other side of this and you're like kicking ass in life, guess what? This is still for you. Why? Because this is you. The information I teach isn't my education. The education I teach is the concepts around you. So what I learned in my own personal experience and endeavor is that through my unique profile, my unique abilities, my unique gifts, that around 30, I would have a holy shit moment where I would awaken and not just awaken, but I would discover who I truly am. And it's happened. That's why I'm here today telling you that wake up call, it happened. Not only that, but I discovered that the false self within me was obsessed with finding the perfect love or finding an external person to complete me. Because of this obsession, it led me to the truth that every relationship that we have in our lives is a direct relationship to the one we have with ourselves. And in this process, another outcome I promise you will have is you will move from relationship to relationship. If you're not the woman or man that you desire to be, you just hold on. My intention for you, may you please see that there is nothing that you lack. And you've got to get behind the idea that God has your back. It's my intention that you become passionate about being you. I am fired up about being you. But are you? I'm not going to climb inside of your body and do the work for you. But I am so passionate about you waking up the giant within you and seeing all of these obstacles in your path as little baby grasshoppers. I am so lit up about you discovering what your purpose is, what your life's work is, what your mission is, and what you are here to do. Most of all, I am going to make sure that when you're in my environment, you get the ability to persevere even when life kicks your ass. Because when you get back up, you understand you are the one that is going to save you. And even when you get kicked down, that doesn't mean that you're not whole. In fact, the greatest means that you are free to be all of you, free to be you, free to be you. Nothing is wrong, and you don't need fixing. When you fall in love with your unique characteristics, when you are in harmony within yourself, when you love and accept yourself, suddenly all areas of your life are met with grace. Relationships are going to be bounteous. Prosperity is the byproduct. And when you open to receive all that your heart desires, you have no idea just how good it can get. Now, I didn't tell you the opposite side of that story, but what you need to know is that millions of people that understand this process fully never, ever, ever go back because they found the one thing that fulfills them from the inside out and satiates the hunger of unconditional love. So let's take those steps, shall we? I'm going to have you download the Human Design app. So I'm going to pause and give you a minute to do that. If you're driving or attending your kids and the dog is barking or you're, at your job, pause everything you're doing. Tell them to hush now. Download the Human Design app. I took a picture of this one because this is my particular favorite. It's easy, it's simple, it's digestible, and it has all of the pieces. A lot of instruments online do not tie together all of the pieces, which is what keeps us in confusion. There's always information left out, but I'm going to help you bring it back home, okay? The next thing you're going to do, resource number 2, you are going to write down this website. You're not going to do it yet. You can do it later. You're going to write down genekeys.com. And when you go to this free website, you're going to go to free profile. And that free profile is going to require your birth information. So remember, I told you this is very scientific and it's very spiritual. It's both. It's quantum physics. It's helping us understand the very unique creations that we are. but it is going to require your birth time. Now, if you do not know this time, that's okay. Don't get tripped up. And it does need to be exact. So, with that being said, you're going to enter in your information and proceed forward. Now, this is where the training gets real good. So, if you are distracted, again, I invite you to inhale, exhale noise. Yes, very good. This is just the beginning, and this is just one part of the system. So, human design has 8 different systems within your body. So, interestingly enough, you're not here just to be fed on the mental plane. You're here to be fed in your heart, in your prosperity. Yes, I mean your wallet, and all of harmony with life. You are meant to be full from the inside out. This particular system is the one I'm going to focus on in this training. And then at the end of this training, for those that are here, you are absolutely going to get a goodie and a gift at the end so you understand all systems. Because again, you might be a complex human being, but we're going to make it so practical, so delicious, so insightful that your breakthrough, it happens in seconds, not years. Your transformation happens overnight. And I am a coach that believes we can change a belief in an instant. I do believe that things can be easy. And I do believe that we are the ones writing the rules. Yeah? Okay. So when you pull up I'll go back here, genekeys.com, and you download back here the Human Design app. These are the 2 resources that we need to have access to. Now, when you're looking at this chart, you're going to scroll to the bottom and you're going to see what's called the hologenetic profile. Hologenetic. So what do you think that means? It's literally the holograph of your DNA. Do you know why I love this work? Because there is no limit on how far your gifts and consciousness can go. Now, you're not actually listening to, again, information that you can get off a book. Why? Because this is information encoded within you already. So as we go through this process, what you're actually doing and what you're actually looking at is the ability to see how we're going to unlock every door. Now, hang with me for a moment. I want to explain color. So when we look at color, we're looking at green here. And this process in the green is purpose, radiance, evolution, and your life's work. When we get to the red, we've got love. That would be everything that is red. And then when we're in the blue, now we have hit the mental plane, which is about prosperity. And I love this because your genius, your very zone of genius, every single person has a zone of genius. So the number one question I get asked is, what does that mean? It means that Albert Einstein wasn't the only dude that had access to these expansive, delicious, life-altering abilities and creation ideas. Every single one of us has a zone of genius, a particular stroke of genius that just by being you, you are literally changing the very canvas, the very picture of life in such a unique and gifted way that you don't even know it's a talent because you do it so naturally. So it is the idea where a fish is in water and doesn't know it's in water because that's its natural habitat or environment. So naturally, instinctively, intuitively in your body, you have an environment where you are already thriving and kicking ass. And you do this one thing really, really, really well. But because A, you don't know what it is, and B, you don't actually believe it has value, you keep pretending to be like the other little guppy fish in the pond, when actually, really, you're like this massive shark in an ocean full of whatever the hell it is that you crave and desire and are hungry for that day. And you have the literal skills wired in your body to not just move you forward, but to perpetuate a life where you are winning, where you are thriving, where you are not trying to be someone that you're not. And you're also not sitting there like doomsday, wondering worst case scenario, because you understand that your genius is the very mechanism that is going to be able to fulfill everything you've ever desired. I'm going to say that again. When I teach you these pieces of information just within this system, just in this one system out of all eight, you are going to walk away with an understanding that you are not just badass, you are extremely giftful. And do you know what else I love? Inside of every person, the genius is unlocked after we overcome a particular challenge. We have the ability to understand what your challenge is, what your breakthrough is, what keeps you core in stability, what keeps you aligned with source, creator, God, whoever you believe in. We have the ability to take this information to support you as an individual and to help you achieve everything you've ever desired, not because you had permission or validation from the outside world. And here is why this training is so important for you. So pause. Do you know? Do you actually know the world will never validate your internal experience? They never will. You could talk to me and say, hey, do you feel like this? And why do I have this? Or da 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 da. And I could respond yes or no. But the pain when we don't understand our internal experience, when we don't understand why or how, then we go into people pleasing and servitude and oppression and all of these lower vibrations simply because of a lack of awareness. I promise, stick with me. I'm going to give you the awareness of a lifetime. There is no other education on the planet in my belief system currently that actually takes eight complex systems, weaves them in together like a bow, and then says, this is your care package. And not only is it your care package, but the package is already within you. So can you just like freaking put your crown on? Right? And I have to be blunt and bold with you because here's what it looks like. I know that I am the best in the world at articulation and translation. How do I know that? Because my gene keys on this particular slide, they're mine. So I come up to my life's work and I'm like, cool. I work through that and I understand my evolution and my radiance and my purpose. So all four of those articulate that I am the best in the world at transformation through articulation, taking really complex ideas and making them oh so damn simple. I am the best in the world at helping people deliver a breakthrough. And not only how to have a breakthrough, but I do it in a very revolutionary way that keeps it very simple. Because when I help you understand, I know that you will choose to take a stand. Ooh, that's a good one. Do you want to take a stand for you? Because I'm like your best cheerleader. I'm not even with you right now. And all I can think to myself is, you got this. You're powerful. You're amazing. You're competent. You're an icon. You're limitless. You're freaking amazing. And they're not affirmations. Do not get it twisted. They're declarations because I see you way before you have ever seen you. And I don't say that lightly because when we enter our zone of genius, what we start to do is we go, okay, I'm now aware of this information. And the next question I get asked is, how the hell do I use it? And the answer is, you've already been using it your whole life. Now it's time to leverage it. Leverage is when we work less hard and have more gain. And that doesn't mean just work. That means every area of your life. You start to believe that you are special. You are unique. You do see you. You do know. You do trust. You do hear. You are creative. You are damn brilliant. Your heart is open. You're a spiritual warrior, dude. Get up and let's go. Okay, so after we move through genius, the next spheres that we have are love. So when we go forward, after we get our foundation very, very integrated, the next part is, let's fast forward. Okay, next we have the attraction and the red spheres. So if you look to the bottom of my screen, you're going to see this icon that says love. Love, 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 love. And I love this because attraction, the law of attraction, the law of manifestation, there's so many teachings founded upon literal, quantum physics and other things, but no one teaches. No, get closer to the screen, listen to me closely. No one teaches us how to attract and build a life we love based on our gifts or our attraction field. Now, if that sounds really hard to comprehend, just know this. Everything that you're attracted to is for a reason. In fact, it's not just hardwired in your drive. Okay. I want you to think about a computer. A computer has a hard drive. When you're looking at this human design and gene keys, this is literally the hard drive to the system. This is like, okay, cool. I now know I have an algorithm to my life. So maybe we could stop studying social media's algorithm and maybe we could study the algorithm of our own internal world. Because if we understood how to unlock the floodgates of our prosperity from within, not just prosperity, but love, genius, and harmony, holy Moses, do you understand how easy life would get for you when you were no longer playing the rat race game and you are playing the majesty game, the sovereign game, the trusting the divine game, the winning game because there are no rules, the freedom game because you're all of you? Like, do you see how potent this is? We haven't even talked about all the other systems. Okay, so let's move along. So after we get through this red sequence and we move through attraction, we're going to move into your mental understanding, your brilliance, your intellect, your divine thought process. Every one of us has a different brilliance, the way we think, the way we have a perspective of the world, the way that we are going to approach life, the way that we feel safe or we don't, the way that we strategically think, the way that we process, the way that we want to understand. Every one of us has an intellectual property that is sacred. And then once you understand the mental mechanisms of your brain, we move into the emotional sphere, which really has the emotional intelligence piece. Now, books are really, really starting to crank out a lot of publications around like education around emotional intelligence, and corporations are starting to get behind this, which is really cool. The emotional plane is where we start to be emotionally aware. And this is where we really get out of victimhood. I would dare say this one piece of the sequence will get someone out of the cage of victimhood, feeling sorry for themselves, feeling like they haven't had a break, feeling like they need to purge darkness, like whatever you're experiencing, just know there is a very, very specific lesson that once you're like on board with, your heart is so open. You're not worrying about betrayal. You're not worrying about productivity or else you're going to lose this person or you're not in the proving game. My entire life, going from death and rebirth, was stemmed from the ability over here, my radiance. Notice radiance over here on the left-hand side, and it gives you three words. We're not going to unpack that today. But my literal gift of death and rebirth perpetuated my purpose. So I knew I was here to help people understand themselves. Look at the word on the bottom. The word is understanding. I'm here to help people understand themselves. And then I come up and I shift through this whole sequence. Guys, this information I'm showing you on this screen is literally the process that I walked through after losing everything. I lost the corporate career. I lost the second marriage. I lost the direction and the authority of church and religion and the safety net that provided. I lost it all. And then I understood I lost nothing because I gained me. I gained me. Everything that was in falsity in my life shattered and it broke like glass on the kitchen floor. Thank gosh. Do you think I was thanking God though while it was happening? Oh, hell no. I had a couple of like middle fingers up and I hate life because I was more terrified than I had ever been in my life. But guess what? I've got a gene key inside of my sequence that tells me that I have perseverance as a gift. I will never quit. I will never back down. I will never stay silent. I will never be oppressed. I will never not trust. I will never, like, pick your word. But because I can talk about myself like that, I was able to change how I felt about myself. And that's the key I want you guys to walk away with. So write this on your paper. What changes when I think and feel differently about myself? What happens when I wake up every morning and I'm asking, what makes me a badass? What makes me competent? What makes me special? What makes me a high value woman? What makes me a unique man? What makes me able to create a multi-million dollar company? What makes me capable of writing best-selling books? What makes me capable of being the best mother that's ever lived and nurtures the community? What makes me so powerful that not even on my worst day of circumstances would I ever bat an eye and talk negative about myself again? Do you feel that? Because I do. And I don't just feel that for you. I know that is possible for you because my sequence will not match your sequence. Thank gosh. Do you understand how America and the US was built? Do you understand that you could look at most of the most powerful men in today in society, pull up their chart, and uniquely look at their levers and what makes them them and how attractive they are because they're just being themselves. And the difference between the successful and the masses is one word, and it's not their money. It's their confidence and their belief in themselves and their ability to feel whole. Do you think that they mind when someone comes at them with negativity? No, because core stability is built from within. Core love is built from within. Even when I went through my process, I understood, okay, cool. I now understand that there have been experiences that I have really, really integrated to mean something shitty about me. So if you're on this call, I want you to take your hands. This is what I do with private clients, and it's very transformational. I want you to take the left hand, and in your left hand, I want you to put your unique identity. I want you to put in your left hand energetically with intention. Just pretend. Come on, let's be five again. Let's pretend. I want you to put your identity in your left hand. And the only rule I have here is that your identity can only be rooted in unconditional love and light. Hold that unconditional love and light. That's your identity. Close your hand. In your right hand, I want you to place every single shitty experience, every single distraction, every single hurtful betrayal, every single limitation. Put that in your hand on the right hand. Yes. Dump all of that trauma and that drama and that betrayal, that toxicity, and all of those experiences where you tell yourself every day that you failed. Put that in your right hand, close your hand. Now I want you to put both of your hands together and connect them with your hands still closed, fist closed, put your hands together. Okay, your hands are together. What you have done just barely energetically is you have placed your experiences and your identity and you have mixed them in a web. You have just now identified yourself with the complexity of life. And because you're in the shallow complexity, you have now identified with all of that yucky energy. That's not your energy. That's not your identity. So too many of us get tripped up in life and believe we're broken and not whole. Why? Because we believe our experiences are who we are. You are not your experience. You are not your past. You are not your future. You are not what has happened. You are not what this body has endured. But what I need you to do is inhale. So we're going to inhale right now. We're going to exhale all of that confusion. We're going to let out all of that struggle. Let it out. And on the count of three, we're going to pull our hands apart. And when we do, we are going to decide right here, right now in this training that our identity is whole, it's light, it's love, and it's complete. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Detach. Okay, so now that we're detached, palms should be still clenched, two different fists, they're just not connected. I invite you to drop on the ground all of those experiences. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. I invite you to open up your left palm in front of you, face up. And I ask and invite you to put that hand on your heart. And I invite you to decide now that you're whole, that you're complete, that you're perfect, and that you're special. And even if you don't believe that yet, you're willing. Thank you. Very good. With this training, there is so much in our heart space that no longer belongs simply because we can't let it go, simply because we don't let it pass. So the past stays because we didn't let it pass. Do you get that? So then what happens as we journey through this voyage is once we've unlocked our hearts and we've gotten into our mental brilliance and we've understood deeply all of the mechanisms that make us so damn fire, they work together like dominoes. Did you guys ever play dominoes as a kid? It's like you stand them all up and then you push one and it affects the other. You work on one piece of this with me, and I guarantee in 3 months your life will not be the same. I guarantee in the first couple of weeks your life won't be the same. And I'll bet after this training just today, I've given you enough to chew on that you don't have to stay the same, not even today. Now, the reason I love the sequence in this order is because once we unlock your genius, we have to unlock your heart. Why? Because it takes courage to be who you are. It's one thing to read a book and be like, wow, I'm so inspired. Thank you. No, it's another to embody it, to walk it, to breathe it, to own it, to claim it, to sink into the frequency of you that has it all, that knows that you are divine, who knows your spiritual identity is rooted in truth and wholeness and capabilities and competence. When that heart is open, the coolest thing happens. Then we can move into the realm of prosperity. Okay, so I haven't actually provided a slide for this, and that's okay. We're just going to work off of this chart. So the blue spheres, we've moved up to the blue. Blue is where we really crank and get into your mental prosperity. And prosperity, by all accounts, means a life where you are in sync with all parts. So, not just your finances, not just your bank account, not just your wallet. Prosperity is when you're like so in love with yourself, so sourced from the inside out that you are able to enter a relationship because you no longer self betray, you no longer pretend you're little. Then you walk into relationships with another, knowing what your gifts are and knowing that theirs are completely different. Do you know, before we hit prosperity, do you know how many testimonials I get? And this wasn't the focus or the intention, but it's really fun to admit that a lot of people discover once they understand their chart, they have been wrong. Not wrong, but maybe unkind to their partner or their spouse or even their boss when they understand that their projections and their expectations were from the assumption that everybody was like them. So, what I mean by that is an unclaimed gift. When you don't claim your gift, when you're like pissing around, pretending that everybody operates like you do because you're in water, so you can't see anyone else. When you don't understand your gifts or claim them, then you project onto another person all of these expectations because they're not as loving as you and they don't do it this way and they don't think like this and they don't behave like that. Those are all excuses and distractions that keep you focused on them and disconnect you from yourself. So your life isn't actually enriching because you're finding problems instead of finding prosperity. So when we enter the prosperity realm, it gets really damn fun because now we understand there are no problems. There are only the problems that we create in our minds. And if we really believe these systems and they're within us, and it's our genetics, it's our DNA, it's our operating panel, when we really believe that, then prosperity means, oh my gosh, there are no problems. So what am I going to create now that my heart is open? And I understand that I'm a badass. And I understand that I've been given every single tool that would be required of me to persevere, to win, to thrive. Okay. What I love in this information is the ability to keep it succinct. So the reason I brought up dominoes was because when you work on just one gene key or you work on just one concept that I give you, you are actually directly impacting every single other gift simultaneously because they are connected. Number one, you can't divide DNA. You don't like cut off your arm every day and focus on, only your left side of the body. It doesn't work like that. Like DNA is cyclical in nature, and so are the cycles of life. And so when you work on even just your genius, just know that you have indirectly just impacted the rest of your frequency. And this is like revolutionary information because you'll also find in the prosperity sequence, when we get into this information, I help you translate all these things because it can get overwhelming. What we understand then is what prosperity means to you may not be what the outside world told you it is. Prosperity to you and I is going to be completely different. But at the end of the day, I can guarantee you, no matter where you live, that more money would change your life. So let's not pretend that we don't want more money, more health, more abundance, more friendships, more travel, maybe. I don't know, more peace. Like, what do you want more of? Because your prosperity sequence has the direct ability to show you what your beliefs are and how to change those beliefs in an instant. So I'm not going to pretend that I'm not the best in the world at helping people with their subconscious programming because I understand that with this information, there's a lot happening in the psyche. But what I will tell you is that when you look at your blue sequence, notice it's a triangle. Did anybody catch on to that? So you've got this blue sphere and this blue sphere and this blue sphere and then this blue sphere. It's a triangle. This is also, if you take a triangle, right? Use your fingers if you want and you flip it forward, now you have vision. You have a GPS that's moving you forward. This vision has already been encoded in you. A lot of people that are lost and disconnected are asking, what is my purpose? They're asking, what is my vision? What am I here for? What is my service to the whole? How do I live a life that I love? Who am I at a spiritual level? What are my abilities to evolve? What are my capabilities of living out my potential? And do I really want to face my fears or not? Guys, I'm not a teacher who has to stay on the surface because I know that when you work with me, we are going to face every single one of those fears, but in a really fun way. It doesn't have to be heavy. So as we wrap this up, I just want you guys to know with the attraction sphere, we have a really beautiful ability to attract everything we want on top of the blue prosperity sequence, where we can get into your mental behavior, look at all of the limiting beliefs that stop the money, that stop the flow, that stop the service, unhook yourself from the past, create an identity that is sovereign. And my favorite part of this entire system is once we've unlocked you and relationships and money and wealth, we have this beautiful epiphany where we hit the resonance of harmony. Harmony means that I can be my brightest, loudest, most creative, most beautiful essence, and it takes from nobody. In fact, it's the belief that the more I grow and expand and completely compel myself forward, the rest of you will also do the same. Why? Because in this sequence, you'll notice that everything is connected. You even see it right here when there's a line that connects from purpose to attraction. There's lines connecting every single gift to each other. So it's like having your own hard drive and not knowing how it works, and then being completely bitter and frustrated and anger and pissed off and going through really shit life experiences because you don't understand your magnetism or your brilliance. Like you're freaking brilliant. If all you did is believe that one thing, I'm freaking brilliant, your life would change. Now, harmony is really cool because if I was to take you straight down this pathway, so purpose, attraction, SQ, pearl, and life's work, I want you to see that there is a line that goes straight down. So there's blue, blue, red, red, green. That is actually, I want you to imagine you're standing up tall. So right now, put your shoulders back. Yep, tilt your head up just a little bit. A lot of you have been slouching every single day without noticing that your posture is communicating to the world how competent and confident you are, or how supported or not supported you are. And this pathway of individuation is going to help you stand sovereign in who you are, who you be, and then from that place, everything else down the straightway path is just a cherry on top, right? So I want you to sit up straight. I want you to pull your spine up. I want you to plant your feet on the earth. And I want you to whisper to the earth, the world. Maybe you want a microphone. You don't want to whisper. I want you to whisper, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Most of us have been programmed to think we need to ascend. We need to better ourselves. And I'm going to push up against that and say, you don't actually need to ascend and you don't need to try harder. You don't need to fly faster and you don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to ascend. You need it to land. You need to land. You need to land. So the last part of this, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to land into your body for the first time today. Maybe it's been months, years, and it hasn't felt safe. What you're discovering is the doorway I'm opening to helping you land home. Your body is your home. Home can go everywhere with you. The only thing distracting you is you don't know who you are and you don't know how great life can get. And I'm going to expose you to that. So, last but not least, I am going to offer you guys a link. It should have pulled up right now. There is a link. It is an invitation to the soul who knows they belong in this academy. Inside of the academy, we are going to go through every single sphere. Inside of this academy, we are going to go through every single gift. Inside of this academy, I'm going to help you untangle yourself from the things that keep you small and limited. Inside of this academy, you are going to have every single piece that you have been looking for when it comes to your wholeness, when it comes to your abilities, your competence, and the love for yourself. I'm going to invite you into the Designed for Wholeness Academy. In fact, I'm not just inviting you. There are certain people on this call because you have been attracted. There is a reason. You have said the prayer. You have asked the questions. You have struggled enough. You have hit intolerance. You have been reacting to life, not knowing that life is reacting to you or responding. I'm going to help you inside of this academy. There are 175 modules. It's a full academy. You are going to learn all 8 systems that make up your entire system as a human. It is going to illuminate all of the confusion. And at the end of the day, I'm going to help you trust yourself. The outcome is that you will trust yourself. You will learn to trust your gifts. You will learn to forgive. You will learn to disconnect from the past, and you will learn to create a life that you absolutely love. I will help you bend time. I will help you become prosperous from the inside out. The end results of this are so timeless. You can't pay enough money for this because there will never, ever, 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 ever be a piece of information that can convince you otherwise. You will never believe that you are less than badass ever again. Take it from a woman who has done the crashing and the trial and experience for you, who has done the heavy lifting, who can deliver all pieces of information so that your soul knows, like you know, that you belong and that you're not broken. You've had moments where the light broke in, right? And I'm here to help you believe in yourself. We're going to breathe belief back into every place that we felt was wrong, taken, stolen, broken, fragmented, or disconnected from the authenticity of who we really are. You are capable, and I see you. And now it's your time to see you. So I invite you to click the link. I'm going to give you just a minute to do that. Click the link. Yes. And for those that have been on this training, I love you so dearly. I don't have to know you to know that we are all connected in some way or another and that we're all just doing life and we're all humans trying to figure out maybe the best creation for us in this lifetime. And we're all just here to expand and to create a life that we love, full of potential and harmony within ourselves. And this is the permission that you have been waiting for. Don't freaking wait. That's a freaking lie. You get to have it all and you get to be it all. And it doesn't require that you sacrifice an arm or a leg or everything that your heart wants. You can be creative and successful. You can belong and be yourself. They go together. So welcome to Coherence. Welcome to Universal Love Academy. I'm so excited to guide you on this journey. I am going to walk you through it, and you will absolutely have all of the details when you click that link on what that program looks like, and I will see you on the inside. Until then, you guys, I believe in you, and you should too. Until then, see ya.